Welcome to London's craziest gangster with me, Mr. Fish. Keeper of the dead man's Bible, where all the rules of society are thrown, tossed and washed away. Pain become my friend, happiness my slave. Love can't hurt me, money can't buy me, it's those that hate me that make me come alive. Bang! Well, what a week it's been. What a week it's been. Accusations of grassing, accusations of paperwork. Here we go, enjoy the show. You know, it's funny, that episode. It's been a hurtful episode because Crash, you know, nothing worse than someone calling you a wrong than a grass. But where I come from, there's a word we have in the game, and it's called staunch. Staunch. And staunch means, mate, proper. We don't grass no one. And when I'm looking at the story and I've seen the note and it's not my handwriting and my name's in the paperwork, it suddenly makes me believe Crash, I don't think the screw set me up. I think my name's in the paperwork because I took the guy down to healthcare, so it would be in anyway. And I just think it's a genuine cross wire. And anyone who's been in the boo, and that's what we call that gaff back there, we call it the boo. Yeah? Anyone who's been in the boo will know that screws, they make mistakes and cross wire, and I just think that's what it is. I don't think, because any other way I try and look at it, it just don't make sense. So anyway, Crash, how's your father? That there is my second home. And if you're in the game, okay, and you don't respect the game, if you don't like this bit, then get out the game, because this is where it all ends. When you go behind that gate, that's where the journey starts, that gate right there. And you go in the gate, and that gate comes down, and you go in the second gate, and then you get, and then you're on the bus, and you're worried now, yeah? Don't worry about it. You're on the bus, and you're worried, and you're frightened, yeah? And so Crash out's your father, yeah? You get off the bus, the screws call you, all right? Then the prison officers, the prison bus lot, Serco, they get all your property and bring it up. So you go into a place called reception. Now reception is where it all starts. Because reception kind of tells you how you're going to go for the rest of your bird. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So Crash, if you go to reception and you let the screws do to you what they want to do to you, all the way through your bird, the screws are going to do what you want to do. But if you want to go through reception and put a fight or have a go for what you believe in, then Crash, you're halfway there. So let's put it like this. When you go in there, reception, the first thing they say is they want you to do a double sell. And a double sell means they want you to share. And me, I don't share, unless I'm with my pals. Okay? So what you have to tell the screws first is, Crash out's your father. You got to say, look, I'm doing a single bang up, mate. And they go, well, who do you think you are, mate? Well, we ain't doing no single, yeah? Everything's doubles. You go, well, listen, mate, I don't give a shit if they're fucking everything's doubles. I'm telling you now, it's singles. And then they go like that, they can't put it on. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, mate, if you carry on like that, yeah, we'll take you down the block. You're like, all right, mate, it's not an issue. We'll go down the fucking block then, you know what I mean? You know, yeah, you got to decide what way your bird's going to go, yeah, when you're behind that door. The next test comes, especially if you're on remand, yeah, the next test comes with your clothes. They might say, you're right, you got to have your prison clothes, yeah? And Crash, you turn around and go, mate, I ain't wearing clothes, I'm wearing my own clothes. And then the same thing comes, they'll do the same thing again. Well, in that case, right, we'll take you down the block. And you're like, mate, and then the fuck we go down a fucking block? You understand? So anyway, Crash, so these are the things that test and show the screws what you're about before you go onto the wing. Do you know what I mean? Then you have to get your kit, your soap, your bed pack, all these things are the test. Then when you get on the wing, what happens is, yeah, sometimes, what happens when you go on the wing, sometimes, if you're lucky, prison officers might know you. And if prison officers know you, then it's not the battle is not too bad, do you know what I mean? But if prison officers don't know you, then it can be a headache, yeah? So Crash, when I was in there, like I said, I know everybody. Because that's the point about Bird, especially in the old days. When you was in the game in the old days, what used to happen was, Crash out's your father. What used to happen, Crash out's your father. In the old days, everybody, no matter where you were in the system, if you was in the game, right, knew who you were. Yeah? Say that. Knew who you were. Yeah? That's what I said. Knew who you were. Okay? So Crash, if a fella come from Leeds and he was a nonce, a running once or something, a grass, what would happen? We would know up here in London that he was a wrong or a guy, yeah? So we would know because we was all in the game. But today, because now the game's changed and not everyone knows who's in the game, what's happening now is, Crash, you can get moved from one nick to another nick and not know why that person has been moved, yeah? And not know why that person has been moved. And Crash, he could tell you, oh, he's there for firearms, he could tell you he's there for drugs, and really, he'd be there for rape, he'd be there for nothing, he'd be there just for grassing, you understand what I'm saying? So that's the problem with today's criminality circles. In the old days, everyone knew everyone. Now you don't. And that's another great, massive headache for you. So anyway, Crash, how's your father? I'm in the old boo there. I'm on the wing. And I'm chatting to one of my pals one day. I'm chatting to one of my pals one day. And I'm chatting to one of my pals. Crash, how's your father? Another fella comes in, stocky black man, good pal, man, but he didn't know at the time I was his pal. And he says to my mate, listen, mate, I don't care who your mates are, yeah, and I don't care what you do. You're not getting your watch back. And the watch he took was like a 200 grand Rolex or something like that. Well, it's probably an imitation one for 20 quid. But anyway, Crash, how's your father? Well, I got one. joke. So Crash, how's your father? What's happened? I've said to my pal, listen, mate, what's going on? So my pal says, Crash fish, the geezer took the watch. I went, yeah. And he went, I can't get it back. I said, what do you mean you can't get it back? I said, all right, mate, wait there. After lunch, I'll deal with it. So Crash, how's your father? Oh, lunch came, we all get dinner, get banged up, come out after lunch, Crash, I'm on it. Now you have to remember, I told you, yeah, in the nick, in there is my second home, okay? And so what you got to understand is, for me, it's fun. I mean, when I'm in there, I did a Spanish degree, I played for Nadia and Les Misabellas, you know, I've done everything in there. Radio production course, I've done a lot. You've got to use it wisely in there. There's no point getting a bird, yeah, going in with no knowledge, no degree, no brains, and then coming out, yeah, and crash. Coming out the same way you went in. It don't make sense. What's the point of going in there? Do you know what I'm saying? So anyway, Crash, I've gone up there now with my pal, and I've gone into the geezer's cell with my pal. But what's happened, I've said to my pal, right, go in, yeah, and I'll hold the door while they're sorting it, so that it don't come up from my pal, because the fellow who he's in with is a lump. So then, Crash, how's your father? I'm holding the door, and the geezer took my pal's watch. His mate comes to the door, and as he comes to the door, I'm holding the door like that, and he says, just move, man. I said, listen, mate, sorry, mate, bear with me, yeah, we're just talking about a bit of beef. But he goes to push it again. So I said, look, mate, look, please, mate, yeah, I'm just talking about a bit of beef, bear with me. Now, you got to remember at this time, yeah, as I told you, when I'm in the nick, I don't give two fucks, it's all part of the game, yeah? But when I was in there, I used to sing, Biddly widdly 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 dee, are you a member of the HMP? Please, prison officer, please talk to me. We don't want no trouble, we just want the key. So everyone used to think I was off my nut, which I was, but don't tell them. So they Crash, how's your father? He's pushed the door. That's it. I've gone crash. And this is what I was trying to say in an earlier point. Do you know one thing that really jars me? One thing that really hurts me? Why is it people always take your respect and politeness for weakness? Why? Why is it people always want to get hurt before they're happy? Why? And then after you heard now, oh, sorry, I didn't know you were like that. Well, what the fuck did you think we were like when we were a member of Psychopaths Anonymous? A nun? Do you know what I'm saying? So anyway, I've hit the fella, crash. He's on the fucking, having a row. And all the kangas have come on now, and they've come on. But as the kangas have come on, everyone on the wing has thrown the chairs, they've thrown the tables at the screws. So I'm like, mate, I've suddenly realised that this could be mutiny. So I've gone to everyone, nah, slow down, leave it. And I've got the screws, and I'm holding them, protecting them like that. Said, stop throwing the chairs, stop fucking about, stop protecting the screws. They're with me, yeah? So everyone stopped. So the screws have got up now and run down the stairs, yeah? So as they run down the stairs, I've suddenly gone, oh, mate, this is mutiny. Now, you don't remember, yeah? Mutiny, you're talking about 10 stretch to start with. Let's not go there, you know what I mean? So they crash out your father. I've looked about me, seen or taken, I've gone, right, that's it. I said, right, everybody back to your cells. Everybody back to your cells now. So anyway, they're all going back. I'm getting everyone back to the cells. So they're all going back. Crash. The governor's come on and he's looked up. But the governor can see that I'm telling everyone to go back to the Peters. So everyone gone back. I've gone back to mine. I've shut the Peter door. And then, half an hour later, yes, my cell's been opened, and a kanga opens my cell. And what he does, I say, right, he said, come and see the governor. So I go down there, and I see the governor, and he says, oh, thanks, Fish. He says, thanks, Fish, for doing that. I said, yeah, no problem, Governor. I said, mate, come, mate. I said, it's a terrible. So he says, right, we're going to let you off, but all the others are going to get nicked. And I went, nah. I said, mate, if you're going to nick them, you got to nick me. We're all in it together. Do you know what I'm saying? Can't be any other way. So I said, crash. So the governor said, all right then, Fish. Right. I said, look, Gov, none of your officers got hurt. I said, you never lost the wing. You ain't lost control. I said, come on, Gov. Fair. So he said, all right, Fish, you're right. So he put me back on the wing, and we all got off with that. So we were quite fucking lucky. But it was near, you know, and we got the watch back. You know, you gotta, you know, when people talk to me and call me a grass and all that, and mate, from where I am, listen, grassing and the rest of it is like law and religion. You just don't do it. It's sacrament. It's just not done. You know, we come up from the old school. We didn't just come on the street. We come up through the villainy. You know, sitting around the table, hearing all the stories. You know, I remember the tear-ups as well. I remember I was in 10, and now, in 2006, and what happened was some of the screws didn't know me. And so I'm on the yard one day and I'm bowling about. And at that time, the cell they give me had no windows. And so what's happened, Crash, I've had to put a load of newspapers in the windows, yeah? So I put the newspaper in the windows, come back off the yard, and all the newspapers on the floor. So I've gone, all right, sweet. I've hit the bell, and the bell is like, you know, the crews all come to see what you're about. And then I've hit the bell, they've all come, and the black kangas come. So, well, what's up? I said, listen, I'll tell you what, I put all the insulation in my windows, yeah, to keep out the cold, and you've thrown it on the floor. I go, well, what's the happen, mate? Well, what's the problem? And he went, well, you should have newspapers in there. I said, mate, listen, don't be chatting to me like that. He said, I'll tell you what, you carry on like that, Brown, yeah, and I'll take you down the block. So I said to him, you know what, Gov, I love you and I respect you, and you will take me down the block. But I'm telling you, it will be a fucking war. So I left it at that. Anyway, now, 2 weeks later, yeah, crash out your father, I'm bowling down the landing, and all of a sudden, I've heard a kangaroo up there, commotion. So I've looked up, and I've seen my cellmate, he's only a young kid, and the Kanga, this black Kanga, they're rolling, yeah? So I'm like, mate, I'm not having it. So I run up there, and I've gone to him, stay down, and the black Kanga went to me, fuck off, fish. So I went, all right, sweet. So they had the older Kanga to come on the landing, they come running, and what's happened now, I'm locked in the bathroom, but I've got the right arm. But you know I can hit the wall bare knuckles. I train bare knuckles on the wall, bare fists, yeah, full force. I've gone crash through the wide window. And as I've gone crash through the wide window, my hand's cut. So now, one of the Kangas have come up and he's got to take me to healthcare. So crash how's your father, I've gone down to healthcare. But as I'm going down, I'm on the ground floor, I'm looked up on the floors, and I've seen them, and they've got him in, you know when they have you in the headlock and bent you over, you know, like you might have seen in the movies, yeah? So I thought, you know what, I've had enough of this. So I said, all right then, you want a fucking war? I said, fuck the kid, you want a war? Come on in. Let's get this fucking show on the road. Crash! So I started hitting it with a Kanga, and in Wandsworth they got a thing called the Star. Now the Star, you walk on this Star, listen, they just jump. Anyone who's a real old school knows one of them. When you walk on that Star, they rush you. Because the ideology behind it is, once you walk in the middle and you get in the middle of that Star, you can give a signal to start a riot. So anyway, the principal officer come to the Star and he's gone, take him down. And as they come to take me down, I've gone, crash, I'm on this, listen, it's on, you know when it's on. So I'm crash. I'm having it with these Kangas. All of a sudden, boss, they've got me down, but I've locked up, so I've locked up on their legs. I'm going, come on then, stamp all over me, fucking hurt me. Let's fucking see what you're all about. So crash, there was an old boy there called Mr. Morris, God bless him. And Morris says, come on Brownie, for me now, get off the floor. So I said, all right, Mr. Morris, for you. Crash, I said, we'll let it go. So I got up, and I've gone down the block. And when I'm down, I thought, fuck this birds, I'm stripped off naked again. I'm in the cell, goes, come on in, you fucking loons. You want it with me, come on in, let's fucking do it, let's do it. And so anyway, they've sent the doctor. So those of you who know about prison, when you're down the block, they send the doctor down. And so they've sent the doctor, and so Crash, he said, he's gone bang, bang, bang on the cell door. I went, who's that? He went, the doctor. I went, what do you want? He said, I come to see if you're okay. I said, I'm okay. He went, are you hearing voices? I went, yeah. He said, whose? I said, yours. Who else do you think I'm hearing? What do you think, I'm a loon? And so with that, the Kanga, we call them Kangas, the prison officers, he's come and he's opened up the cell door and said, come on, fish, mate. Come on. He pissed himself laughing like that. He said, let's go back to the wing. So Crash, how's your father? I've gone back to my cell, and I'm in my cell with my pad mate, and all of a sudden, the screws come up who's given me the grief in the first place, yeah? And he's opened the cell door, and he said, sorry fish, I apologise, I didn't mean it, mate. So I went, nah, Gov, come forget all that, mate. He said, it's not a problem. So I go in the toilet, yeah, and with my hand, and I heard him say to the cellmate, did you see how many it took to take him down? Did you see how many it took to take him down? And I thought, you know what? I did tell you to take me down, though. But I also told you it'd be a fucking war. And that's what I love about it, man. And that's what I love. I love being in the game. And that's why all you people, when you're having a go at Liam and about this grassing, I'm saying, look, leave it, drop it out. You see me, I handle my own battles, my own wars. I don't need no one come behind me. I'm proper, I'm staunch. Yeah, I'm a leader, not a follower. Yeah, people bring work to me and ask me to do things. I don't go to them. That's how we are. We're proper, old school, staunch, loyal, non-grassing. That's how we roll. Okay, and that's why today I thought I'd give you a little insight into prison, how it works, how it goes. So you know what? Remember where you saw me last, and remember where you heard me first. See you later. Crash!